struggling with short battery times? If Apple supports diagnostic says you have a healthy battery, here's some other things to look at to see what's draining your battery too quickly. Most of the time the battery is fine and the software is causing an issue with reading the battery. Let's find out if we can see if this is happening to your phone. Let's check your storage. Open the Settings app. Tap on General Settings. Tap on About. The important information on this page will be how much storage space you have available and the version number of your operating system. If you're still on a very early version of the operating system, like in this case 10.0.1, there's a good chance that an update would fix your battery issues. If you want to look more into why your storage is so low, such as below 1 gigabyte, keep listening. On the top left, tap back to General Settings. Select Storage and iCloud Usage. Select Manage Storage, and make sure you're looking at storage of the phone, not your iCloud. If you don't have very much storage left and you're even having the issue of not being able to take a picture in the camera mode, it's important to know that the longer that situation goes on, the more of a chance there is that your software can become corrupted due to the system not really knowing what to do with new information that comes in on a daily basis. If left like that for long enough, not only will you not be able to install new apps or take new pictures, but the battery reading might be way off, service could cut out, apps could crash, and eventually the whole phone might not even turn on. I'll explain how to resolve that issue in particular in another video, but for now, if that's not the issue, let's check to see how our auto lock setting is set. Go back to the main settings page, tap display and brightness.
See there where it says auto lock 4 minutes? That is where you want to go in and double check that it doesn't say never. If you have your screen never shutting off automatically, that could be a big drain on your battery. So without further ado,
let's check your battery consumption with apps that are on your system right now.
We're staying in my favorite app and going to the battery section of this app. Here, we're going to wait for the battery usage to load. Let's scroll down a little bit to see how each app stacks up in each of our tests. We're going to switch it to the last 6 days by tapping here. It should show the last 7 days, but my phone's a little messed up. Tap on that little clock on the side there, and it'll show you on-screen and background time and percentages of how much it's using in order from the most consumption app to the lowest. It'll show you things like searching for low signal, screen space, and so forth. Well, that's it for now. We're going back into settings. I'm looking around. I don't see much else we can do to diagnose your battery issues. Some people like to double-click the home button to initiate the multitasking view, the app switcher view, and quit apps like this. I say on newer phones, this is probably a waste of battery. And I'll tell you why. Because when you flip these apps up like this, it is quitting the app in a way that the next time you open it, it has to start from the beginning. It doesn't have a frozen state. The iPhone doesn't actually have a way of multitasking or running things in the background unless it gets certain permissions such as playing music or things that are going to be obvious anyway. You can see this when you look at your battery diagnostics and the settings that I just showed you. So when you are swiping up to, quote, quit those apps, as some people think, what you're doing is you're forgetting that frozen state, and the phone has to go back and load it up from the beginning again, thus wasting more battery, maybe more data. It has to load things again in a certain way. When you double-click that home button and you see multitasking, those are all frozen apps, and the phone organizes the processes by itself. That's why you can scroll all the way back, even when you turn the phone off, and you'll still see remnants of the apps, maybe a view of an app that you haven't used in ages. That app is not still running. Think about it this way too. If Apple intended that to be the way to properly quit an app when you are finished with it, don't you think there'd be a quit all button? So don't worry about the extra clutter. It's hidden like that for a reason, and it's difficult to close them all for a reason. I would say on much older devices, older iPads and phones, you're probably safe to quit out of those apps that way because it actually saves on memory, and that might save on battery and memory. But if you have anything of like an iPhone 5S or 6 or newer, basically less than a 3 generation old phone, more recent than a 3 generation old phone, you're going to be fine keeping those apps open. And you're probably going to see an improvement of battery life if you don't do that. Check out the background app refresh settings if you're concerned about apps running in the background and doing things. But the phone is really good at conserving battery. I would take it into a technician, probably an Apple certified technician, to take a look, see if their battery diagnostics goes through, see if they have any other tips on saving your battery. Could be software corruption, like I said. Anyway, I'll see ya.